All right. Well, I'm really excited because today's special guest is Justin Lyons, the guitar slayer.
Mhm.
He's worked with some of the top music artists in the industry. He's the lead guitarist with Machine Gun Kelly. He's toured the world with K-pop group Blackpink. He's worked with Lil Wayne, Tamala Man, and many other artists. He's a producer, a composer, and an entrepreneur. Man, thank you so much today for taking the time to come on with us today.
I am honored, to say the least. I'm so honored. Thank you for having me for sure.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
man. Well, before we get into how we even met, because I think we need to share with everyone, I think we got a really good story of how we met. I really want to start kind of at the beginning.
Okay.
Um, Guitar. When did you start playing? How did you pick the guitar? How did that start?
Started at age, 5. I think everybody's story is maybe like starting at age 5, but mine was age 5 and grew up in church, cultivating church, very musical family. Also just the environment I was in, it was so musical, it was so church, a lot of
Okay.
church. And that's
Yes.
what started just to cultivate my playing, my ear, my style, everything, you
Okay.
know?
Okay. And how did you start? Did you have lessons with anyone, or did you just like, cause church, I know sometimes you just get the guitar and they like figure it out.
Yeah. Well, my dad plays guitar,
Okay.
but I credit my mom a lot for teaching me.
Okay.
My mom would sit behind me. I talk about this in countless like different mediums, but my mom would sit behind me at the church and would hum to me what notes to play.
Mm,
And she told me this incredible lesson that I try to tell every musician. She taught me never take your eyes off the person directing
yeah.
and never take your eyes off the person that's singing the song.
Yes.
So that cultivated my eyes just being locked in,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And that's how I was able, even when me and you began to like play, like I was just locked in.
Yeah.
So my mom was a great influencer to my playing ability today.
Okay. I love that, man. That what you just said reminds me that those are good foundational tools that can go with you anywhere. Of just like I see it as knowing your role and knowing what your job like in a band or group setting. You have to know
Yeah,
what your role is and what you're supposed to do and where you need to lock in.
yes, sir.
So to me, even her telling you that that's a good thing.
Yes, sir. And we couldn't afford lessons
Yeah.
then.
Okay.
She took me
Okay.
to Brick Maze when Brick Maze used to be
Ah,
a thing.
yes.
And they was like $75 for 30 minutes.
Yes.
And my mom was like, I can't afford that.
Wow. Okay.
And,
Yes.
we were taught about faith and believing at a young age. So I never forget telling my mom, like, don't worry, I'll learn.
Yeah.
And just went from there.
Wow. That's amazing. That reminds me that the I remember the Brook Maze. It might have been the same location, but you born and raised Dallas?
Oak Cliff. Yes, sir.
Yes, Oak
Yes, sir.
Cliff, like
Yep.
like myself. I'm not born
All right.
in Dallas, but grew up in Oak Cliff.
Okay.
So it was probably the Brook Maze right off of Highway
Yes,
67.
sir. Yep. Rare.
Yes,
Yep.
Redbird. So people from Oak Cliff, I say Oak Cliff, Texas,
Yes,
even
sir.
though it's not technically a city,
Yeah.
but everybody would know what that means. So yes, a lot of musicians would be up there, Brook May. But I think that's amazing, man, Justin, that you yeah, it's like not to allow an obstacle um to stop you.
Yes,
Just
sir.
like I got it.
Yes,
I
sir.
got it.
Yes, sir.
That's really cool.
Yes, sir.
Really cool.
Yes, sir. I had a drive for it. Even then, that's why my mom took me there. She would see me with the broom and making, guitar or bass,
Yes.
gestures. So she
Yes.
knew that I had a love for it.
Okay. So
Yeah.
she bought you your first
She
guitar?
bought me my first guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, she bought me my first guitar from Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Wow.
yeah, it was a white guitar and I was ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
And then she bought me my first electric from Brook Mays at age 11.
Okay.
And I
Okay.
still have it.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, prized
That
possession.
yeah, that's really cool. Really cool. Well, man, let's then I guess move forward to when we met. But I was gonna say before that, did you so were there other avenues once you got rolling in church? Were there other avenues that you had? Or no? Was that the
Yeah, that
main?
No, they, I had my first recording with the choir at age 10,
Okay. Wow.
and that was a whole new world for me. And then I got connected with like Robert C right now, maybe like
Okay.
age 13 or 14,
Okay. Okay.
to where I was able to like sit in certain studio sessions with them, and
Yes.
like that was a lot at 13, 14 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
taking that in, like those things were helping me. But then when I got into like high school era, I knew I was good, but I didn't think music would be
Yeah.
what would be my bread and butter.
Okay.
And I just wanted to ball. I got accepted at Booker T to play
Yeah.
bass,
Okay.
but I wanted to play basketball instead.
Ah, okay.
So I didn't pursue music like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you went on and played basketball
Yeah, I
then.
played
Okay.
basketball. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So what high school did you go
I
to?
went to Life School.
Okay.
Then it was called Life Charter, but
Oh,
now it's
yes.
called Life School.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That is cool. I did not know that. I
Yeah.
did not know that.
I kept the
Yeah.
secret. And Joy Hill.
Okay. Joy. I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she used to be one of the praise and worship leaders at the Potter's House back in the
Okay.
day, but she was
Yes.
my choir teacher.
Really.
Yeah, and we just had an amazing relationship because I would be in there trying to play piano. That was my passionate
Yeah.
instrument,
Yeah.
piano.
Okay.
And she would always see me playing, but I never told her I played the bass
Yeah. Yeah.
until like 2 years later she found out, like, why you never said anything?
Yeah.
Well, I was
Yeah.
taught to be humble, so I
Yeah.
never walked around boasting, yeah, I play guitar.
Okay.
I just kept it to myself.
That's interesting because then
Yeah,
that goes into how we met and how well, my impression of you. But I was gonna say that you have spoke to mentioning Robert C. Wright, who's another amazing musician, producer, and everything. But
yes, sir.
enjoy that there are so many. For those of us that aren't from Dallas,
Mm,
there's so many talented people
yes, sir.
here and so many avenues, whether it be church or even beyond the church.
Yes, sir.
So that's really great. Well, now let's talk about then when we met. Well, you want to start the story and then I can, because I think we've talked about it a little bit off camera. I don't know that we've ever really, documented,
Right.
but I know a little. Some things you said I didn't remember, so I'll let you start and then I can interject my perspective.
Well, I was initially introduced to you by Marcus Roberts, who
Okay.
was a student of yours at Cedar Valley. But Marcus was one of those guys when I was like 15 and 16. He would come by my mom's house and pick me up and like take me to like certain gigs or something,
Okay.
or he would introduce me to like new music and all of
Okay.
this. So one of the records he introduced me to was yours.
Hmm.
And he was like, yo, you gotta hear him, but you gotta see him. I was like, cool. And that was like at 15, 16 though.
Hmm.
And then fast forward to what, 19, 20, going to Cedar Valley, and that name came up again. I was like, yo, wait a minute. That's the same guy Marcus used to. I didn't even know he was like, right. I didn't know you was a native of
Mm-hmm.
Dallas
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
I just thought you and knew in my head like you was this big world-renowned jazz piano that's not even like from here. That's probably like in Los Angeles because normally that's where everybody hears about everybody, New York or LA or
Right.
something.
Right. Right.
So knowing that you was here in Dallas, I was like, yo, this is crazy. So all of my friends, Jeremy, Chadney, Caleb, all of those guys was like, man, you should be in keyboard ensemble. We in there killing it. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, I'm gonna get in. I didn't know the ramifications of it. And I went to you and said, hey, I want to be in keyboard ensemble. And you were like, well, it's kind of already closed. And I was like, well, I wanted to play bass.
Yeah.
And he's like, can you play? And I was like, I'm okay. I was like, I'm okay. And he was like, he was nice about it. I know you had to go. He was like, well, okay, let's go across the hall. It's a piano room right across.
Okay.
And let me hear you play. And so I hooked up the bass. You went and got what was Kirby?
Oh yes, Kirby Stewart, the
Yeah,
bass professor
yeah. Rest
and
in peace.
audio
Yeah,
engineer
yes, sir.
professor.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And you went and grabbed his bass for me to play really
I do
quick.
not remember any of that
Yeah.
part. Okay.
And I sat in the room and you was like, okay, let me hear you. And I started playing your record. And you was like, wait, I know that song. I said, that's my song. Then we just got lost in jamming. And it felt like I was jamming with one of my good friends. And the energy you was giving me back was like I'm jamming with one of my good friends.
Yeah,
And it was awesome. Because
yeah,
one of my favorite players was Braylon, but I didn't know Braylon was the guy that you had also
yeah.
used often. So
Worked
just
with, yes.
yeah,
That's
great.
so funny. Now I will say when I heard you play bass, I probably didn't say it then. But I was like, he sounds like Braylon Lacey, who
Mhm.
is another amazing
Yes,
Dallas bass player.
yes, sir.
So my let me just quickly give my perspective of what I was thinking.
Okay.
So you're correct. I was teaching professor at Cedar Valley College in Lancaster, Texas, which is just south of town, south of Oak Cliff
Mhm.
and south of Dallas. It was a beautiful time because I didn't realize that there were so many talented
Mhm.
young musicians were going to come through that program. So you mentioned Caleb McCampbell, Chadney Crystal, Jeremy Hairston. I'm
Yep.
saying their whole names because
Yep.
people can kind of look them
Right.
up
Right.
and then you'll see what they're doing
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. For sure.
Um, but yeah, just so many great, and Marcus Roberts
Yep.
as well, who told you about the program. So my perspective is yes, we had this keyboard ensemble and it got very popular. It was all keyboards and I had a rhythm section with bass, drums, and really that was it. And when it first started, it was only keyboards. We would
Mhm.
play, it was only like three of us, and I played with them because we didn't even have enough keyboards to go around. So we grabbed the piano, we had a Fender Rhodes in there,
Wow.
we'd grab whatever. So my perspective at the time was I know I don't have a lot of equipment, and then they were giving me a budget to buy more keyboards and stuff, but I only had limited things. So I was like, I really gotta try to weed out if people are messing around
Yeah. For
and not
sure.
serious about it. So I know, and since if I said that it was closed, we might. I think we sounds like we had already done the auditions,
Mm.
so I'd already set in my mind what it was gonna be, and then you showed up. Now the part that I remember
Uh-oh.
is that you told me because I did have that position of I was being real quick
Mm.
and real firm because I was just like I gotta be,
For sure.
I'm a nice guy. I
Right.
try to
For sure.
act like I'm a nice. Well, I
You're
think I'm a
kind. You're
nice
very
guy.
kind. Yeah. For
Okay,
sure.
so but I knew that I also have to be firm in
Yes,
certain
sir.
things, so I had that position. But um, you told me he's like I don't read, but if you play it one time, I got it. Now, of course, in my position, I've heard
Mm.
people say all kind of stuff. So in my mind, I'm like, one time, really? For real? So I remember going to the piano and playing stuff purposely, really fast. Okay, try this progression, try this chord, and you played it. Everything I did. So then in my mind, I was like, he's for real. He he's not lying. He's for
Wow.
real. That had not happened before
Um.
where somebody told me that, but they were
Right.
like, it
Yeah.
was the truth.
I understand.
So then it flipped because in my mind, I probably didn't show it. I'm smiling in my mind
Mm.
because I was like, he can really play. This is gonna work.
Nice.
Because I don't even know if well, we had I guess some bass players before that, but if we didn't have a bass player, we'd have key
On Keybase.
bass.
Yeah.
But I was like, we're gonna have a bass player for real. Um, so it
That's cool.
flipped for
Yeah.
me. So I might not have smiled. I might not have, but in my heart, I was smiling already because
That's
I was
cool.
like, this dude is for real. I played something one time, he got it.
I love that.
So of course you
Blessings.
were in the group.
Blessings.
Now I should say this, and
Okay.
I'll let you talk. I thought you were a bass player, that was your first instrument.
Mm.
Now it was a long time. I don't remember how long. It could have been multiple semesters. I don't know. I don't remember how long you were there.
Two, I
But
think.
okay. I went a very long time and I was walking the halls and I heard somebody say, Justin plays guitar. And I was like, what? I came in, you played bass so well, and you did remind me of Braylon Lacey,
Mm.
which just facility, you could get all over the bass, you could play whatever.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes, I don't know if you remember this, I would use you, everybody had music and everything, but you just could commit everything to memory, like for real, for real.
I wish I
And
could
so
do it.
there were times where I'd be like, hey, that's not right. Y'all not playing the right. Look. what's the music say? And I say, Justin, play it. And you play it. But that put pressure on everybody because it's like,
Right.
he got it. We gotta be honest. But I would do that on purpose sometimes.
Man, I wish I still
Just
had that sauce, man.
but that is really cool. The only other person that I know, we had a blind person. I don't know if he was in the
Nah, I don't recall.
um his first name was Al. I can't even remember his last name. Now, my other thing, we don't have to talk about this, but like when what I've learned about musicians is that if, for instance, he could not see, that was just, how he yeah, he was totally blind, but his other senses
Like,
became so strong. He's the only other person
mm,
that made the group because he had that same type of memory
mm,
recollection that you
mm.
had, where I could just tell him one time and he got it.
Wow,
I had to do him a similar way because I was like, how's this gonna work? Is he gonna, but same thing, I play stuff. So I would just go to the piano, say, hey, this is what it is.
wow,
I got it,
wow,
and never forget it.
wow,
But you had that same
man.
type of thing.
That was a
So yeah,
great
so
era.
talk about the guitar where, well, I see you said you were humble
Right,
and
right,
that you
right.
were taught just stay low.
Yeah,
I was totally amazed and flabbergasted when when I came and asked you, you were like, well, guitar is my first instrument.
yeah.
That totally messed me up.
Yeah, still today, like it's my main instrument, but I have a really crazy love for bass. I'm able to think differently. I'm able to process differently. I'm able to look inside the shape of the note differently. So it just pulls another portion out of myself
Yeah,
that I don't even know because I'm always in guitar world. So once I get on that instrument, I commit to the bass,
yeah,
and vice versa.
yeah.
Because I've always heard guitarists hop on bass and they still sound like a guitar player,
Right.
and I'd be like, yeah,
You never
no,
did to
yeah,
me.
no disrespect to anybody that's doing it, but for me, I wanted to master
Yeah.
the sound of it and the
Yeah.
translation of it.
Yes.
But you taught me a very incredible lesson, man, in that season of time that really sculpted my playing. I never forget you was like, "Hey, give me a solo." And I was big in studying like a lot of Victor Wooten and Jocko at the time, and I just started going crazy on my solo. And you was like, "What? Stop, stop, stop. What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm soloing." You was like, "Man, you gotta teach me your language. If I don't know your language, how can I speak to you?" He said, "So you have to do like, hello, my name is Jam. Hey, my name is Chris." Like you
Okay.
gave me the whole walk down of conversing with
Yeah,
your
the
instrument.
conversation. Got you.
And like that blew my mind. He was like, if I don't know French, teach me how to speak French.
Yeah.
Like in front of everybody. And it wasn't like a scorning or anything. It was like teaching us a valuable lesson of how to view music properly, other than let me just play a whole bunch of notes and show what I can do.
Right.
So thank you for that. That
Okay.
to date, I carry that with me. Like people like, man, shred, give me some. I'm like, for what? It's not saying anything.
Yeah.
So so thank
Yeah.
you for that,
Oh, well, that's cool. To
man.
be honest, I don't even remember the instance, but what you described is definitely my philosophy.
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure that I know that that's, we know that's the approach.